millions of student loan borrowers breathing a sigh of relief right now after President Biden announced his massive plan for people struggling with debt.
He's now canceling $10,000 of student loan debt for those making less than $125,000 a year. It was one of his key promises during his presidential campaign.
People can start, finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt, to get on top of their rent and their utilities, to finally think about buying a home or starting a family or starting a business.
The president's debt cancellation plan also includes an additional $10,000 in relief for Pell Grant recipients, continuing the pause on loan payments through December 31st of this year, and a loan repayment cap of 5% of a borrower's monthly income.
Joining us now to discuss what the website Inside Higher Ed is now calling an unprecedented act of executive authority is President Biden's Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for giving us your first interview of the day. We appreciate it. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy to be with you.
Well, listen, this debate has been swirling for months. Everyone was waiting to see what the administration would do, and now the plan is out there. Beyond the lofty rhetoric of it all, the nuts and bolts is going to fall to you and your agency. According to an analysis, the department has the ability to automatically cancel the debt of 8 million borrowers who already reported their income as part of the FAFSA program, which I remember from my days in school. Those borrowers will get automatic forgiveness. Others will have to apply through an application. So talk about, one, the immediate impact and what that application process looks like, because borrowers want to know.
That's right. That's right. Well, look, we're excited about this opportunity. Just like during the pandemic, businesses needed a little bit of support to stay open. Americans right now, we're reinvesting in Americans to make sure they can move forward. You mentioned 8 million people are not going to have to do anything. We already have enough information. We're going to make the process simple. You know, something that doesn't really go together historically is federal loans and simple. We're going to try to simplify the process, make sure there's an easy way for folks to share their information, simple information. There's going to be an attestation. So what people need to do now is go to studentaid.gov/debt relief, sign up for the automatic emails, and we'll reach out to you in the coming weeks to make sure you have the right information so you can benefit from loan relief.
What about for our viewers that might have co-signed onto their children's loans or are involved in their children's loans in some capacity? What does that mean for them?
Right.
And is this just about borrowers in the past? What does it mean for somebody who just signed up yesterday?
Right. Yeah, these are for folks who have outstanding debt. So yes, you know, those Parent Plus loans, those also are included. Well, let me say this. I think the loan forgiveness piece, which is historical, $20,000 if you're a Pell recipient, that gets a lot of attention. I'm just as proud of the work we're doing for those folks who are going to take out loans in the future. You mentioned earlier, you know, we're capping loan payments in the future to 5% of someone's salary, not 10%. That's called income-driven repayment. We're not going to ask folks to pay for more than they can afford. That's going to make higher education much more accessible. And we're going to cap the interest, too. I've heard from so many Americans that the interest is what kills them.
And for folks who are single, who make $125, or a household with $250, who may be feeling a little bit left out this morning, who would say, well, because of inflation or the rising cost of raising a kids, $125 as a single person or $250 as a family is not rich and is not as much money as it may sound to other people. So what do you say to them if they're feeling a little left out after kind of being implicitly defined as wealthy, at least in the context of this plan?
Well, we certainly know that you're not rich, you know, if you make $125,000. But the intent of the loan package, loan forgiveness package, is to really support those in the middle class and those who are struggling financially get back on their feet post-pandemic, right? We recognize that there are others who are not going to be getting benefits from that part of it. But with the income-driven repayment, everyone can benefit from that. And that's going to help reduce payments for loans by half. If it's, you know, we went from 10% of your income, your disposable income, to 5%. That's cutting payments in half. so everyone can benefit from that.
This is, of course, an extraordinary use of executive power to address this. The president decided not to go through Congress to enact this, and it's drawing some criticism and sparking a debate about fairness, which Rob was just touching on a second ago. What concerns do you have, for one, about legal challenges to this executive power and criticism? I'm going to just cite Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the top Republican in the Senate, calling it a slap in the face to working Americans who sacrificed to pay their debt or made different career choices to avoid debt, like maybe not going to college.
Right. Well, look, as I made analogous to before, when businesses were struggling and we provided support to keep them open, that helped them. That helps our economy. Right now, everyday Americans are struggling, and we're providing the same level of support and we do have the authority to do that under the HEROES Act. So we're doing that. Now, to the argument about people who are saying, well, look, I didn't go to college because of the cost, or I paid off my debt. Look, we're trying to help people, prevent them from going into default. In these actions, if people go into default, it's going to hurt the local economy. It's going to hurt everyone. And we're also helping those people that maybe didn't go to college, but they have children going to college, or they're going to be helping pay the debt of someone in their family. Everyone knows someone that right now is struggling with college debt. Helping those people up, it helps the whole community, and it's helping other Americans, and that's what we're trying to do here: is help as many Americans get out of this financial hole that they're in by providing some relief and a pathway out of that. And we know that the more debt you're in, the less likely you are to move on and buy a home or get married or do other things. So we're trying to help Americans get out of the financial hole that they're in, so we can continue to see our economy thrive.
We'll talk about your beloved Connecticut for a second. As you mentioned, you're a former fourth grade teacher, a former principal, the youngest in the state at that time at 27, which is pretty remarkable. But you look across the landscape right now at some of the strikes we're seeing in large systems. You're looking at problems hiring and retaining teachers, a really critical shortage, the worst in recent memory. COVID fatigue, which has made the job more difficult. Teachers out there still paying for their own supplies and worrying about their own salary as we start this new school year, and not to mention, of course, the violence issue that Jay alluded to as well after the tragedy in Uvalde. What is your message to the teachers of America as this new year gets underway? How do you help them keep the faith?
Well, look, we have an opportunity this year to provide students with the best experience. They've suffered a lot. Our schools have suffered a lot. Our teachers have. Look, I feel confident that this is going to be the best year yet, right? We're going to catch up our students. We're going to lift up our teachers. We're going to, rise above the political divide and the culture wars that some are trying to fabricate. And we're going to partner up with parents. This is our year. And these are the same folks that were able to switch on a dime, that were able to bend over backwards when the pandemic hit and provide their students with support. I'm confident that these are the same people that are going to get us through this. And with regard to the teacher shortage, look, that's a symptom of the teacher respect issue that we have in this country. So let's focus on competitive salaries. Let's focus on better working conditions for our educators. Let's focus on using teacher voice as we reimagine our schools. We have tremendous potential this year. I'm confident that these same educators that did what they did these last 2 years are going to make education even better in this country. I'm looking forward to a great year.
Well, we know that your time is in demand today in light of all the news. Thanks for giving us here on Newsy a few minutes. We appreciate it, Mr. Secretary. Thank you so much.
Good talking to you. Take care.